In action, prettiest, the fastest, the greatest fighter of all time. You all should be very honored to have me in this area.
As a matter of fact, the normally sophisticated political national capital has behaved as if it were honored to have Muhammad Ali in the vicinity. They have taken to him as if he were a new discovery, not the heavyweight champion we have all known for so long. Indeed, it's as if they've heard him for the very first time.
Jack Johnson, people always talk about how great Jack Johnson was. Jack Johnson was a good fighter of his time, but he was slow. Rocky Marciano was good, hit hard, but no footwork. Bill Joe Louis, ranked as the greatest of all time, was been annihilated by Billy Conn until he caught up with him. Now Joe's got the nerve to talk about, I wouldn't have stood a chance with him. All of the fighters throughout all the history, none had the speed, the class, the skill, the science, and it was approved by Howard Cosell. He admitted himself that after watching those men falling and fighting like sissies and biting and pinching and getting up and falling and rolling all over the ring, it'd be a disgrace today. Things are better today. Jesse Owens' record has been broken. Jesse James' record has been broken. All the Jesse's records have been broken. And listen, the jet planes now beat the props and everything. Even the women are prettier. Clothes, everything is better today, and the fighters are better. And I am the greatest fighter, and always remember this, all of you out there, I am the greatest fighter of all time.
Again, everyone, I'm Howard Cosell, coming to you live from the Capitol Sports Center in Landover, Maryland. You could argue all night and forevermore as to which was the greatest heavyweight champion of all time up till this time. The question tonight, and it may be very interesting indeed, is ballooned up to 230 pounds at 34 years of age. How great is Muhammad Ali now today? He'll be fighting a young man named Jimmy Young, and that's the pinpoint of our evening tonight. As I said for you, what we think will be a super weekend right here on ABC Sports. In boxing terms, tonight you'll see the heavyweight champion of the world together with the #1 rated contender in the world, Kenny Norton. He'll be fighting Ron Stander, and the #3 rated contender is Jimmy Young, about whom we'll tell you much more later. After the fight telecast tonight, we break around the country for a half hour of local news and then pick up from Louisville, Kentucky with Chris Schenkel and a Kentucky Derby special, which will bring you the flavor, the atmosphere, antebellum as it is, of Louisville and Churchill Downs the night before the Derby. Tomorrow on ABC's Wide World of Sports, we'll be bringing you sprint car racing on dirt tracks, fairgrounds variety from Terre Haute, Indiana, and another look at that world record high diving competition that thrilled so many millions of you last Sunday. Then tomorrow, the 102nd Run for the Roses, the Kentucky Derby, the showdown between Honest Pleasure and Bold Forbes, and who can tell, maybe Play the Red and On the Sly will be in there too. And then Sunday, the premiere of the World Invitational Tennis Classic, and that'll pit Arthur Ashe, seeded #1 in all the world these days, against Rod Laver. But for tonight, it's boxing. And what we want to do right now is take you back to the weigh-in yesterday when Muhammad Ali got on the scales and railed in his usual fashion, talking for all who would listen. Look at him talking away there, talking away, and actually he will adjust the scales to set his own weight, which, as I've already mentioned, has ballooned up to 230. That's a pound more than the weight he carried in a non-title fight against Mac Foster in Tokyo some years back. The heaviest he's ever been. He says he needs it for his strength because he's got a lot to do in the next several months.
230.
Ali, 230.
230 on the nose. We got some gas to burn.
Jimmy Young got up there. He's a confident young one. He weighed in at 209, and he had a lot of fun with Ali. Kenny Norton, the unsung #1 contender, underpublicized, strips heavy, as we say in the trade, and he may be a little too heavy at this point in time. He's been waiting a long time for Muhammad Ali. He came in at 224 pounds. As for Ron Stander, whom many of you know through the years as a journeyman fighter who can, however, punch, Ron weighed in at 229 pounds.
229.
That was the scene at the weigh-in yesterday. Now, if time permits tonight, if both fights are short, we plan to show you some part of another fight already held here tonight between Larry Holmes and Roy Williams. Larry Holmes unbeaten, and Roy Williams, the Pennsylvania State boxing champion, would you believe, even when Ali lived in Pennsylvania. And we may, too, have a look at the great fighters of the past. You've already seen some of them as we teased tonight's program. Jack Johnson, Dempsey, Tunney, the likes of them. Good evening ahead. We're back live at the Capitol Sports Center in Landover, Maryland. A quick thing about Ali against Young tonight. Muhammad Ali, winner of 50 out of 52 bouts. You know all about his past, his background. But Jimmy Young, 23 fights, 17 victories, 4 losses, 2 draws. But this young man is not of a piece with Jean-Pierre Koopman or anybody like that. He is rated number 3 among the contenders. He won a unanimous decision over Ron Lyle a year and a little more ago. And he knocked out Richard Dunn in the 8th round, the British and European heavyweight champion. And Ali will be fighting him next month, so he's no punk. Now, there was a time in the past when Ali and a much younger Jimmy Young had a little sparring set to. It was for fun, and Ali carried out his act. This was 71 in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Let's take a look at it right now. Ali pretending to have been knocked down, struggling to get up. Ali has pulled this in exhibitions all over the country. One not too long ago in Orlando, Florida. As you see, Jimmy Young going at him, and Ali pretending to stagger and so on. Yet the strange thing about Young is that he's a tremendously confident young man, or so appears to be, going into this fight. Here he was sparring with Ali at the weigh-in yesterday. Ali likes the kid, says that he's going to be a very good fighter. But Ali, a 15-to-1 favorite tonight, which may be an overstated case of odds. Ali convinced that he will knock the young man out, though not prepared to state the actual round. You'll meet both of the fighters in interviews later in the program. Now we're back here at ringside at the Capitol Sports Center, but what we want to do is go into Ron Stander's dressing room. So you get a look at Ron Stander, who will be fighting Kenny Norton in the first fight. He has already left his dressing room, so we'll not be able to see him. He's on his way down to the ring, and the crowd is making a lot of noise about it. Stander, you'll remember, had his big day as he goes into the ring on May 25th, 1972. Omaha, Nebraska, fighting Joe Frazier for the heavyweight championship of the world. And Joe Frazier, after 4 reasonable rounds, demolished him in the 5th. Let's look at some of that action. Joe Frazier, Stander leaning all over. Stander, a journeyman fighter, but if he can do nothing else, he can punch. Joe Frazier and Ron Stander going at it May 25, 1972. And it was in the 5th round, as I noticed, that Joe Frazier did it to Stander, and the referee had to stop the contest. Now you're looking at Kenny Norton in his dressing room. Kenny Norton, who had his big day of it in May, or back in March 31st, 1973, forgive me, at the San Diego Arena. That was the day he stunned the world when he fractured Ali's jaw and won a split decision over Ali, which Ali later avenged. And then disaster struck him, Kenny Norton, in March of 1974 at Caracas, Venezuela, when George Foreman, and Norton seemed transfixed that day, almost paralyzed. Foreman knocked Norton out in the 2nd round. Ever since, he's been coming back, and he's been biding his time, hoping for a shot at Ali, which he expects to get later this year because he has been a difficult fighter, as noted, for Ali in the prior 2 decisions, which he split with the champion. In the meantime, the one big thing he's done since the Norton fight was against Jerry Quarry, and that was in 1975 when he knocked out Jerry Quarry and forced Jerry Quarry once and for all to finally retire. And in just a couple of seconds, you'll be seeing that action. And what I want you to note is how Norton can punch with either hand. Watch this now. Kenny Norton against Jerry Quarry. We'll talk more about Norton, of course, during his fight tonight with Ron Stander. But the big thing to see here is the man can punch with either hand. And the referee had no choice but to stop the contest. Look at that left against Quarry, and that's what set it up for the stoppage of the fight. Now, I've already talked to you about Ali against Norton on March 31st, 1973. I want to pick up with the action in that fight, Kenny Norton's biggest moment, as I described it then, when an unbelieving crowd in the San Diego arena saw Ali really beaten up. Good right fight. That right hurt Muhammad Ali. That right hurt Ali. It got in there and then blood in Ali's mouth, too. Norton is all over. Norton is the one with the fight left in him. The countdown for the end of the fight. Ali's mouth is bloody. The left gets in and a good right. He is all over Ali. Kenny Norton's greatest moment. While he's been biding his time, he's become a very interesting personality, biding his time in the sense of waiting for a shot at Ali. He's become a motion picture star. Mandingo was the movie that made him prominent in the motion picture sense, and he's just made another movie called Drum. To show you the other side of Kenny Norton, here are scenes from those films.
Right.
Yes. All right. Round one underway, as you can see. Kenny Norton against Ron Stander. The scoring this fight on the 5-point must system per round. It has a mandatory 8 count. 3 knockdowns of a fighter in 1 round will end the fight. There's no saving by the bell. Stander in the red trunks, the white fighter. Kenny Norton in the blue velvet with the white trim, the black fighter. Kenny Norton, once a sparring partner of Joe Frazier. Much more than that now. Looking at Stander's body, you can see that he's got too much weight. Plain truth about this man is he is a journeyman fighter. He once had dreams like all fighters do. Somehow they linger because what else can he do at this stage? He's 31, Kenny Norton's 30. See Norton get that left in there? Stander lost 2 out of 3 fights in 74. Won 3 out of 5 in 75. He cuts quickly. His face is red right now, and there's a cut over his left eye. This won't go long at all. Stander flailing away, but Kenny Norton doing the damage. And Stander, a veritable punching bag, very quickly. This is round 1 of a scheduled 12-rounder. It won't go that or anything like it. Norton's just heating up on it. Stander is a chubby body now. This is the merest kind of prep for what Ali, or rather what Norton hopes will be the ultimate fight against Ali. He won't have to show his real style in this bout, not against the likes of Stander, but Norton is a difficult fighter to contend with because he is an awkward fighter. If we can move our cameras down, he keeps his back leg in the bucket, and his body is always at an angle to you, a hard target to hit. See his back leg always in the bucket. We approach the end of round 1. Kenny Norton against Ron Stander, and overwhelmingly Norton thus far. The bell for round 2, the action gets underway. Kenny Norton is managed by Bob Byron, trained by Bill Slayton. Once Eddie Futch did that job. Eddie, of course, with Joe Frazier.
There you go, there you go.
Referee is a veteran, Harry Caccini. The judges, Larry Barrett and Terry Moore. They all vote. It's a big ring they're in. A ring that'll have memories for Ali. It's the ring that was used in Lewiston, Maine, back in May of '65 at the St. Dominic's Arena, when Ali shot the invisible punch. He called it the anchor punch, taught to him by Stephen Fetcher. And Liston got a 24 count from a bemused referee who happened to be Jersey Joe Walcott. You're hearing the referee from time to time because we've got a mic on.
There you go, there you go. Right back, right back.
No holding, Sammy, no holding.
You heard Harry Caccini say no holding, no holding.
There you go. Right back, right back.
Wild swinging by Ron Stanley. The left eye is open again. It had been worked on between rounds. Norton is a careful workman in the ring. He works an opponent. He's not going to risk getting hit himself. Some of Stander's blood is on Norton's left cheek, under the eye. Don't be misled if you can see it. It is not a cut on Norton.
All right, step back. Step off on him.
We have the countdown in round 2. And the best that can be said is it's not over yet. Or maybe that's the worst. Look at that. Just sitting duck. Kenny covers up effectively. He landed 9 in succession. Stander is staggering backward. Almost the end of round 2. We're back at Capitol Center, Landover, Maryland, at ringside. Round 3 of the scheduled 12 rounder between Kenny Norton and Ron Stander. Ron Stander, the near obese one to the right of your screen, of course, now is back to you. First 2 rounds, near exercise for Ken Norton. It's interesting that Ron Stander, when he was lighter and a little younger, knocked out Ernie Shavers. Would you believe that? Not that Shavers is a good fighter either. But Shavers did knock out Jimmy Young once in the first round. Later, the 2 fought a draw. That's the weakest aspect of Jimmy Young's record. Still to come is the Ali Young fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. Well, you've got to give Stander credit for guts. They've closed up the cut over the left eye again, working on it assiduously between rounds. Stander trying to cover, Norton measuring and connecting. Right through the guard, left, right, combinations pouring in on Stander. Moving down to the midsection when Stander covers. Ken Norton, a workmanlike professional now. In his own words, getting better and better. Still hard to explain what happened to him in the Caracas caper against Foreman, though. March 26, 1974.
Get out of him. Step back.
You heard the referee, Harry Caccini, say step back. He's looking at the eye, calling for medical opinion. Mercifully, this thing may end.
Good.
How do you feel? Good, Stander said.
If it gets any worse, stop it. Let it go now.
If it gets any worse, the medical examiner told Harry Caccini, the referee, stop it immediately. If it gets any worse, it's a mess. Blood is pouring out from over the eye, blinding the fighter. Norton is working methodically on it. It's not a pretty scene.
Get off of
It's
him.
the way it is in boxing.
All right, stop punching. Stop punching.
Oh, a right got into that eye again. Harry Caccini's got to take another look at that left eye of
Let me
Ron
have it. Stop
Stander.
punching.
He's separating them now and not stopping the fight.
All right, stop punching.
We're counting down to the end of round 3 with pictures that speak for themselves. Norton in a punching exercise. They are letting the fight continue. The bell for round 4, Norton against Stander. And I understand I've got to hook up to the heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali, in his dressing room. Muhammad, this is an exercise for Kenny because he wants you.
Well, it's not really exercise. It looks easy, but it's hard work. This man is hitting hard. He could hit Kenny. He could butt him or cut him. So it's not as easy as it look, Howard.
All right, accepting that, Norton wants you. He's a workmanlike fighter, and he gave you 2 tough
Well,
goes.
he shall get me very soon. I am the greatest fighter of all times. Norton has never been the champion. I've been the champion for years. I'm ranked with the greatest, and when this man meets me, my hands are not hurting like they were the first 2 times. This time I shall knock him out cold because I'm going to do him like George Foreman did, and like I did Frazier, I'm going to be hitting hard.
Okay.
First 2 times I was not hitting hard. I was dancing and running. Novocaine was in my hands. My hands were hurting, but now I'm ready.
All right, let's get back to this fight. Stander's eye is gone again. Muhammad, thank you. Good luck in your bout against Jimmy Young. Stander's left eye is bleeding profusely again. It's the cut above the eye. When the cut's above the eye, as I've often noted, it pours into the eye and blinds the fighter. A cut below the eye, a fighter can continue indefinitely. You see the quickness of Norton's punching there, the combinations. Wild swinging by Stander, and now trying to cover up. Norton moves down to the midsection when there's no other recourse. This is what I mean by a professional fighter. Underrated by all of us in the beginning. Although I must confess that some of what Ali said is true, he did have a damaged right hand when he fought Norton the first time.
Keep him up. Hello.
Harry Caccini telling Norton to keep his punches up. Norton apologizing to Stander. This is 4th round action. And it's been a bloodbath for Ron Stander.
Stop punching. Step back.
Stander is just falling forward, leaning on Norton. An occasional wild swing. End of the round approaching. Same pattern. Round 5 underway. Yes, the fight's still on, believe it or not. In case you joined us late, after this fight, we'll have the heavyweight championship fight, Muhammad Ali against Jimmy Young. This fight has been, in effect, target practice for Ken Norton. Early on in the first round, he drew blood, and much of it from above Stander's left eye. Stander, as you can see, appears to be overweight and substantial. Oh, that right got right to him, right through the guard and stung him. He's now just trying to cover up. Norton moving down to the midsection. Medical examiner examined the eye in the 3rd round, said let it go no further if the eye gets worse. But so far, Harry Caccini, the referee, has not seen fit to stop. Watching this fight, talking with us a moment ago, Muhammad Ali himself. Pummeling continues. Kenny would like to put an end to it, but so far hasn't been able to. That's it. Finally, Harry Caccini stops the fight. Ron Stander was just above us. We've been under him in his corner, blood pouring down from his face, and just really too bad. So one-sided from the very beginning, and this could have been expected from the very beginning because there's nothing in Ron Stander's record ever since the loss to Frazier in May of '72 that would lead one to believe that he could be a testing challenge. Right now, after this pause for station identification, we'll be back with more exclusive coverage of the heavyweight fight telecast here at Capitol Center, live, Landover, Maryland. All right, Ken Norton is right now cleaning out his mouth. He'll be over with us. Kenny, a workmanlike job, a prep fight for Ali. That's what you're after, nothing but.
Well, that's very true. My primary goal in life right now is to fight Ali again. And it is what Ali has, and that is the title.
What troubles me is you've been waiting so long. Can you keep an edge fighting the likes of Ron Stander, Pedro Lavelle back in January, fighters like these?
Well, I think so, yes. Plus, I have very good sparring partners in the gym. And I'm working hard in the gym, and when I fight occasionally, it's just enough to keep me tuned, I think.
One other question. I was talking with Muhammad Ali. In a minute, we'll look at the last round of the fight. Ali was talking to me from his dressing room as you were fighting, and he says next time he'll knock you out. He fought you with a damaged right hand the last time.
Well, there's always an excuse, and I feel that talk is nothing. He's going to have to prove it to me. And also, I think I'm becoming a better fighter. My fighting career isn't as long as Ali's. And each day I'm learning. Each time I watch someone fight, I'm learning something. And I feel that by the time Ali and I meet again, we hope late September, I'll be tuned and just ready for him.
All right, let's take a look at you in action in the last round. And I was surprised, really, that it went as long as it did, because you were working him carefully, measuring, protecting yourself, but then, in effect, enjoying target practice, scoring with your combinations almost at will. Weren't you surprised he stayed up as long as he did?
Not really. Stander has been known to have a very good chin. They call him granite chin. He's been stopped on cuts, but he's never been, like knocked out. And I didn't expect him to go. That's why I didn't really extend myself fully.
You didn't extend yourself fully?
No, I was just picking spots and doing what Bill told me to do in the corner between rounds.
The mark of a professional. Now, right there, take a look at what you're doing.
Right now, I'm just picking spots again. His hands are slower. My reflexes are pretty sharp, and I'm just trying to counter his shots and beat him to the punch. And I could more or less pick the shots I wanted because my speed was far superior to his.
Well, it was, as I said, a decent exercise for you. Quite the opposite for our friend, Mr. Stander. Now, for a fight against Ali, have you been made any promises?
Well, right now we're negotiating the fight, preferably latter part of September. The date is not known for sure yet, and the spot isn't picked.
Good luck to you. You fought him 2 good fights so far. Congratulations on your victory tonight.
Thank you, Howard. The third one's going to be a monster.
Okay, that's Kenny Norton. Now, as we get back to our... What's happening, Ken? As we go back to our ringside position, let's join my colleague, Frank Gifford, who's here tonight. Celebrities always in attendance at a heavyweight championship fight, and he'll have some interesting people to talk to. Take it away, Gifford.
Thank you, Coach, and a familiar sight, you battling your way into the ring. Of course, the big one coming up just a little later on, Jimmy Young, Muhammad Ali. And there are a lot of people in the audience tonight that we really can't talk to because of the equal time rule involved, but we do have some great friends here. Of course, I'm with one of the great legal names in this country, Edward Bennett Williams, and of course, he's also the president of the Washington Redskins. And along with George Allen, they brought some great professional football to this city, and now Muhammad Ali, Ed, has really turned this town on.
He really has. It's great to see our town, which is really the capital of the world, also show itself as the sports capital of the world, because everybody is here tonight. The place is filled, and the exhilaration and excitement of a World Heavyweight Championship fight permeates the whole town. I think, I have 3 of my sons here tonight, Frank, and I said that they've seen a lot of things. They've seen a Super Bowl game, and they've seen a lot of sports, and they all play sports. And I tell them the greatest thrill in all sports is when the lights go down, the bell rings for a heavyweight championship fight of the world.
I don't think there's anything quite like it, Ed. And you've had a chance, I know, to know Muhammad Ali. You have known a lot of people in your career. You maybe dig into the psyche, if you will, a little bit in your work. How about this man?
Well, I think he's fantastic. He may be one of the greatest champions of all time. He has blinding speed, and he has really total dedication that's concealed under a facade of kind of easy living. But he is really probably the greatest world's heavyweight champion we've ever had. All talent, all kinds of talent.
Maybe, Ed, one of the greatest athletes, if not the greatest we've ever known.
Maybe the greatest athlete, Frank.
Make a fine tight end, wouldn't he?
Well, I think he's almost old enough for our team.
Ed, thank you for joining us. We'll be talking to other people shortly. Right now, let's rejoin the coach, Howard Cosell.
Thank you very much, Giffer, and thank you, Edward Bennett. He's not old enough for your team. Ali against Young coming up. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, as you can see, I'm back in harness at ringside, the Capitol Center, Landover, Maryland. Shortly coming up, fight for the heavyweight championship of the world, Muhammad Ali against, I think, very, very much underrated Jimmy Young. The kid's not a bad boxer. He has a fair enough jab, a pretty good left hook, and a reasonably swift right. He is a counter-puncher, and he is the third-rated contender in the country. Certainly not the 15-to-1 underdog that the ringside odds portrayed him to be and the odds that you've read about in the press. In fact, Angelo Dundee, the longtime trainer and buddy of Muhammad Ali, and you're looking at him right now live in Ali's dressing room, Angelo Dundee is one of the shrewdest guys in boxing. And he is worried about a relapse such as happened in San Diego in '73. I talked with him today. Angie, I've, as you know, been with Muhammad and you throughout your respective careers together. And I've watched him closely the past couple of days. Somehow, I almost get the smell of March 31, 1973. He appears out of shape, boisterous, too much so, and I'm wondering if this could be a replica of the first bout against Norton, this Young affair.
Bite your tongue, Howard. This should not happen again. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. He's not in the kind of a shape like we were in San Diego, I assure you. Because I had a sign out in the hallway saying, "Remember San Diego." And we remember San Diego. I assure you it's not like that. He's in good shape, 5 pounds over what he was when he fought Joe Frazier. He can carry that weight. He's a big fella.
Well, if you're not really worried about this whole situation, why did you put up those signs, "Remember San Diego"? Why'd you feel it necessary?
Well, because they were partying them around. They were bringing them all over town. They were putting them on 1,000,000 TV shows. I just want them to remember to cut it out, and he cut it down the last 10 days and really hit the ball.
I'm really startled by what I think is true confidence of this kid Young, who is not of the stripe of Jean-Pierre Koopman or of Richard Dunn, whom Young himself knocked out. I wonder how good a fighter this kid is. Characterize him.
Well, he's a Philadelphia fighter. He's a good boxer. He's a game kid. He's been doing a lot of good things in the gymnasium I've been watching, so we're going to be ready for them. I look for a tough fight. I don't think Muhammad's going to get to this guy early. I think Muhammad will stop him in the latter rounds.
Now, you say he's been doing some good things in the gym. Like what?
Well, what he's been doing, he's been sort of throwing patty cake shots at Muhammad in towards the middle, working with big, strong guys, then loading up with a good shot. He's also been grabbing the rope with his right hand, hitting with his left hand. Grabbing the rope with his left hand, hitting with the right hand. He's doing some good stuff in there, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get around Muhammad, because like you say, he's 230 and it's kind of big.
Mm-hmm. Well, can we expect any foot movement from Muhammad in this fight, or will he stand flat-footed?
Well, I think he's going to try to rope the dope, I think. But I don't know if this kid's going to be doped around like that. I think this kid's going to be moving, boxing good. I think you'll see Muhammad counter the guy over his left jab because he's got an awkward kind of a left jab. Muhammad's left hooks will be in evidence tonight because this kid turns into left hooks. So you're going to see a lot of movement. You're going to see a lot of action in this fight. It's going to be a good fight.
Now, for the benefit of the uninitiated viewers, when you say this kid turns into the left hooks, amplify, what do you mean?
Well, what he does, he stands sideways. In other words, his body is susceptible to the left hook from this side. And this is what's going to happen. Muhammad's going to see he could be hit with that punch, and he's going to use that punch.
Good. Enjoyed talking with you.
I'm going to enjoy the fight better.
Ali in his dressing room live, just watching that talk with Angie, who's taping him. The Ali Young fight coming up shortly. We'll be back in a moment. All right, you're looking at Angie Dundee taping Muhammad Ali in his dressing room. We opened our program tonight with footage of some of the greatest heavyweights who have ever lived. Muhammad Ali, self-proclaimedly, is that, and some of us happen to agree with his estimate of himself. Others, old-timers, are more likely to scoff at his claiming that position, although Edward Bennett Williams, in his talk with Frank Gifford, said he thinks Ali is probably the greatest heavyweight of all time. Let's, as we wait for the Ali Young fight to start, go back in time. Let's take a look at Jack Johnson in action, and then my talk with Muhammad Ali about
Champ, it took Jack Johnson 7 years and 66 victories even to get a shot at the heavyweight crown. This was that shot. December 26, 1908, place Sydney, Australia. And look at what Johnson is doing to little Tommy Burns. Johnson at 6'1½", much too big, much too strong against the 5'7" opponent. And right there was when the police stopped the filming of the fight, Champ, the 14th round. They themselves stopped the fight, believe it or not. They didn't want the public to see a black man knock out a white man, so Jack Johnson became the heavyweight champion of the world. He was also a man with deep personal troubles and involvements. That's his first white wife right there. His first defense of the crown against this man, 158-pound middleweight champion Stanley Ketchel, known as the Michigan Assassin, an outlaw type who traveled with the Dalton Gang and Cole Younger, the likes of people like that. But look at that right by the little man, knocking down Jack Johnson, Champ. Johnson got up. I don't think he could believe that himself, but instantly he responded. All over Ketchel, knocked him out, remained the heavyweight champion of the world. That fight promoted by Tex Rickard, gambler turned promoter. Rickard had other ideas, as you see him there, because the whole theme then, Champ, was the Great White Hope. So the man in the middle became the Great White Hope in a presumed great comeback try. Jim Jeffries, who hadn't fought for 6 years. The idea to bring him back from Jack London, the famed writer, together with Tex Rickard. Rickard built this arena, Champ, in Reno, Nevada, especially for the great comeback try. But it was no try at all. Jeffries had to lose 80 pounds to get into presumed shape for Johnson. But Johnson was all over him from the opening bell. Gave him a steady pummeling until finally, in the 15th round, Champ, as you see it here, the end started. Johnson knocking down Jeffries for the first time in that round. And then notice Johnson, Champ, didn't have to go to a neutral corner. They didn't have that rule then. He just hovered over Jeffries, quickly at him, all over him, knocking him through the ropes. To show you the passion against the black champion at the time, Champ, watch this. Spectators hurry over to help Jeffries back onto his feet and into the ring. But to no avail. The pounding continued, and finally, the knockout. Jack Johnson still the heavyweight champion of the world, and the Jeffries comeback try, not even really a big one. But personal troubles continued to haunt Johnson, Champ. Here he is coming out of a courthouse, convicted under the Mann Act. His first white wife had committed suicide 2 months earlier, and still they convicted him under a statute enacted just to nab him. But what Johnson did was flee the country. He skipped bail, went first to London, then to Paris, seen there with a second white wife. A couple of title defenses, routine things in Paris for him. Then up came this man, Champ, the Potawatomi giant Jess Willett. 6'7", 250 pounds. A title defense arranged for in Havana, the Oriental Park racetrack, April 5th, 1915. One of the most controversial endings in history. It went into the 26th round. The famed Sheriff Bat Masterson right there, the timekeeper. This 26th round action, Champ, and watch closely. Did you see that right? Down went Johnson. Notice the hands over the eyes, the hot canvas, 102-degree heat. Johnson later claimed he threw the fight, said he could be seen shading his eyes from the sun. The truth is, people in the States didn't see these films until 40 years later. Let's look at the blow again in slow motion. The only thing that was seen before then was a still photo in which Johnson was apparently shading the eyes. But you just saw that right, champ, and indeed, it looked good enough to have knocked out Jack Johnson, who always claimed he threw the fight. Thus, the saga of Jack Johnson, both boxing and personal, the Stormy Petrel.
Okay, Jack Johnson, we're back live at Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland, waiting for the Ali Young heavyweight fight. I'll be back in a moment to talk with Ali about Johnson. All right, we're back live at Capitol Center, Landover, Maryland. You've just seen the story of Jack Johnson, and I talked with Muhammad Ali, who was with me when we did that story, get his views of Jack Johnson, because he's often been likened to him and even did a show about him.
No question, the man had a stormy life and in many ways a tragic life. Do you liken yourself to him in any way, in terms of the prejudices?
They say I'm controversial. They say that I'm bold, but I wasn't nothing like Jack Johnson. You must remember now, this is a black man. Think about how we were treated. They had lynchings and rapings and burnings, and every time he'd fight, they lynched Negroes and burn houses. And that's history. This man was told, if you beat this white man, we're going to shoot you from the audience. He said, well, just shoot my black so-and-so because I'm going to knock him out. And white women, although I don't agree with forced integration and a lot of mixed marriages, but if a man believe it and love a woman, he can do what he wants. But here's a Negro, during the time you'd be lynched for looking at white ladies. He'd walk down the street and left the country with him. He was bold. There was no black Muslims to defend him. There wasn't no Black Panthers, no Ralph Bunche, no Ralph Hewitt Newton, no Eldridge Cleaver, no Marcus Garvey even. And he's walking around the streets with white women, beating up white men. He had to be a courageous man. So I just admire him for more so than his boxing ability. But in those days, there was no television, no airplanes, no press media, and the lynched Negroes and news didn't leave a certain state. He had the nerve to be beating up white men and daring them to get up and knowing they might kill him. I don't know what he had. Who talked to him? Who was backing him?
Okay, you've expressed yourself in that regard.
I'm bold. He was crazy.
Muhammad Ali in his dressing room, sounding off again, 34 years of age, 52 fights, 50 victories, 36 by knockout. The only losses, March 8th, 1971, fight number 1 against Joe Frazier. And then first fight, Ken Norton, March 31, 1973. Split decision against him, the broken jaw, which at the time he called a message from God. He would never get out of shape again, he said. Talking away in there now. Muhammad Ali, getting his whole troop, his whole retinue excited and enthusiastic. Maybe not excited. We'll be back in a moment. Well, we're looking at the door to Jimmy Young's dressing room, and Jimmy has shown nothing but confidence in preparing for this fight. Great vocal confidence, and it didn't seem to be a superficial thing. Yet tonight, he may be feeling a little bit edgy, and if he does, that's certainly understandable, going against a classic fighter, and we cannot go inside his dressing room. But I did talk with him earlier today and suggested to him that he did indeed seem to have a great deal of confidence. Here's what he said.
I get my confidence from because he's only just another man, just like I am. You know, he has the same amount of hands, fingers, and eyes and everything. And I believe if I cut him, he'll bleed just as well as I will. And God gave me the same thing he gave him, you know. So I have ability, and I'm going to use it.
Are you aware of the fact that he is apparently not in very good condition? Witness his weight of 230.
Yes, I'm aware that he's not in his best condition, at least as when he fought Joe Frazier anyway, you know. But I'm not going to let that go to my head or anything, you know. And when the bell rings tomorrow, I'll go and punch myself out because I figure he's not in condition. I still plan to go 15 rounds or less. You know, he's still dangerous. He's 34 years old, the people say, and his legs is gone and this and that and the other.
but he's a good 34-year, I say. And I'm a very good 27-year-old.
You have said that after the 5th round, you will have the fight in hand. Why do you say that?
Well, I said after the 8th round, the people will be able to tell who's going to win the fight, whether it's him or I, and I predict a knockout, no split decision or unanimous decision. He says he's going to let me work 5 rounds. In the 6th round, that's going to end the fight. But I mean, people can believe that if they want to, but I don't believe that, and I just see otherwise.
All right, there again you see the door to Jimmy Young's dressing room, and quite understandably, waiting to come out to fight Muhammad Ali. He didn't want us in. He's 27 years old, Philadelphia fighter, the record 17-4-2, rated number 3. Muhammad Ali, a different kettle of fish. The veteran who's fought the greatest fighters of his time and has been the heavyweight champion for a long time. And I talked to him and told him of Young's confidence. He replied. All right, let's talk about Jimmy Young. This kid has a very real confidence about fighting you.
Yes, he has. If he didn't, then it'll be a bad thing. I'm glad he's got it. He's cocky, he's talking, he's confident, and I hope that he does that until the round 1.
Till the round 1?
Till round 1, till it starts. Up until round 1, I want to see him still cheerful and jumping, cocky, because I'm going to retire this year. I have a heck of a schedule this year. I'm going to retire the champ of the world, and then I'm going on for Ken Norton. And after Norton, I can retire. Because while I say Norton, some fools still think Norton can beat me after I destroyed his daddy, which was Foreman. After I destroyed Joe Frazier, who will destroy Norton, he still thinks he can fight with me, and people do too. So I have something still to prove. And after I'm through with Norton, I can say goodbye to everybody out there.
Will you knock Young out?
I really don't know what round it will be, but I should knock him out because I will use my rope-a-dope. I'm saving my energy. I'm only going to take my time, lay in front of him, Howard, with that jab, lay with that rope-a-dope, block him. That's right, throw some, Howard. Throw some of him out to the head.
Oh, he'll go to the stomach.
Throw some to the head. Now block him, that's all. And after 4 or 5 rounds, he shall run out of gas. And you know, this is the energy crisis. You shouldn't run out of gas. It's too hard. Fuel is too expensive. He should cruise like I'm going to cruise at about 55. He'll be doing 100. And then when he run out,
the irrepressible Muhammad Ali. There in his dressing room. I have to sing that. Oh, yes, live, Muhammad. You run live. That's right. After this pause for station identification, we'll be back with more exclusive coverage of the Muhammad Ali Jimmy Young World Heavyweight Championship fight. Capital Sports Center, Landover, Maryland, in the heavyweight champion's dressing room. He is surrounded by the usual entourage. To the right of your screen is Brother Rockman. Directly behind him, the colorful and often irrepressible Drew Brown Bundini.
Cosell?
Yes.
I want to say one thing. Hello to Dick Gregory out there running from Los Angeles to Chicago. He's in Phoenix, Arizona now, so I want everybody to get by him in the Starving People's Food Drive.
All right. This is now a time where you should be showing some kind of mild tension. No matter how long you've been at it, you've often told me, always at the last minute before a fight, there is that inner fear.
I have so many things to take my attention today. The government of Turkey just came by. I'm going to Turkey in a few months. I want to announce the announcement of Istanbul, Turkey, and I'm so thrilled of the things I'm getting back here.
Oh, wait a minute,
I'm all about fighting.
You're going to Istanbul?
Yes, sir, in a
the
couple
Norton
of months.
fight will be held there?
No, I can't say. It might be, but I will say that we just got invitation from the government there, and I'll be in Istanbul, Turkey soon.
But you also said you'll be fighting there in a few months.
Working on
Doom.
it. Working on it. We're working on it. It might be announced. But
is that the Norton fight?
Might be the Norton fight. We're working on it now.
Okay. How is your right hand now? Show it to us. The one that
right
used to be
in
damaged.
Good shape. This hand used to hurt, but it's in good shape now. Top-notch shape. I'm going to be hitting awful hard tonight. I'm a little overweight, Howard. I want to tell the people why. As you know, I'm fighting again next month, which is a little unusual to fight so regular. I don't want to burn myself out. Then I'm going to Tokyo, Japan the following month, and then I'm going on back around to Turkey to talk to the people there. So I have a big schedule this year, plus Ken Norton, too, in about another few months. So this is why I don't want to work, too. I'm in shape, but I'm a little heavy, but tell the people don't let it deceive them because I'm ready.
Okay, champ. Champ, you know in your hometown, Louisville, this is the biggest weekend of the year.
Yeah.
We got a Derby special taking place tonight, a half hour after the fight program ends, and then the Kentucky Derby tomorrow. Let's go to Louisville. Chris Schenkel. We're back live, Capitol Center, Landover, Maryland. Sorry about this, Phil. We're still waiting for Ali and Jimmy Young to come out of their respective dressing rooms for the heavyweight championship fight. But we told you, if time permitted, we were going to show you some of the greatest fighters who have ever lived. And that's why we showed you Jack Johnson. Now, that ever-remembered fight, the second Dempsey-Tunney fight in the long count.
This was round one, the two of them in action, Muhammad. Tunney in the white trunks, Dempsey in the dark. Take over, if you will.
Well, Howard, I'm not a fight announcer. You best at that, I got to give it to you. But from what I see here, these fellows are both boxing scientifically.
Dempsey, too?
Both Dempsey slugs it out sometimes. Some fights he is just slug. He's respecting this man, Tunney, in the white trunks because he's a scientific boxer. And he's not so quick to run in with so many wild charges. And Dempsey fights different type of fights, like myself, like everybody. Sometimes he can just be a whirlwind, like a windmill, wild. Then now he's taking his time and he's jabbing, he's using a little sense because he's fighting a man with sense. But both of them are scientific, and Tunney is a good fighter, and they're doing a lot of charging. When they do charge, you notice they clinch up real quick, and they can't do too much from there because they're in too close, but they got to get back.
First round action, they're really feeling one another out.
Yes. How many rounds did this go?
It went 10 rounds.
Boy, you're smart. Both of them are taking their times. And these old films, Howard, don't show pictures like films today. These old cameras and technicians were not as good as they are today, just as the fighters is not as good as I am today. Old cameras, old fighters.
We're approaching the end, and in fact have the end of round one. This is the controversial round, round 7. They had agreed that a fighter, when knocked down, the fighter who committed the knockdown would have to go to a neutral corner. That agreed upon Dave Barry, the referee. And there you see the knockdown. The knockdown of Tunney by Dempsey.
That was the same thing happened when I fought Sonny Liston the second time. George Joe Walcott didn't hear the bell, or he got confused. He was telling me to go to my corner at the same time. Liston was on the floor.
Right, that's true. That count went about 24 seconds. But now let's watch it once again, and then we're going to see the clock run against it in the background.
Solid punches.
Now, watch the clock. Dave Barry, the referee. Dempsey does not go to a neutral corner. The clock begins to roll. See it there, Muhammad? Actually, it gets up to 5. And now, as it approaches 6, Barry first begins the count. Now you'll see another source of the controversy that has lingered to this day. Because the question was, as it approached 10, could Gene Tunney have gotten up? And to this day, it's an unanswerable, with varying opinions. You see Gene waiting there, according to the count. Going up.
One of boxing's most famous stories, back live at the Capitol Center, Landover, Maryland. Quickly, let's go to my colleague, Frank Gifford. I'm told at the moment Frank is not quite settled. Remember, we're awaiting the start of the Jimmy Young-Muhammad Ali fight. His guest is not yet with him, but I'm going to take the liberty, Gifford, of turning it over to you anyway.
Well, thank you, Howard. And as we mentioned earlier, there are a lot of people here tonight that we can't talk to because of the elections coming up. But there is a young man, a great middleweight of a few years ago, who has been quite celebrated over the past few months for other reasons that we will not get into this evening. But he is an old friend of yours, Howard. He's an old friend of mine, Reuben Hurricane Carter. And Reuben, let's talk about Muhammad Ali, because he's the story here tonight. Jimmy Young is a fighter, but Muhammad Ali is something, well, he's something really special.
Muhammad Ali is a fantastic human being. But even more than that, Muhammad Ali is a correct thinking person. Just as many other correct thinking people in this country are finally realizing that only when people get together with other people will we solve the problems of people. And Muhammad Ali is that man. He's not only a fighter by profession, but he's a fighter by conviction. He knows right from wrong, and that's beautiful.
Unusual in many respects. As a fighter, Reuben, you've seen the great ones. It's been your profession. How would you evaluate him?
Of course, we're talking about 1976. So therefore, if we were living back in 1986, or 1886 or 1786. Well, the fighters of that time were the fighters of that time. But we got to grow. We got to keep on moving, because a fool, neither a wise man can see where they're going if they're always looking backwards at where they've been. You see, so Muhammad Ali is the greatest today, right now, and he has proved that. And I think that he has shown that he loved himself so much, and that's why everybody else loved him too. He's the people's champ.
Reuben, thank you. You sounded a little bit like him. He said, the jets outfly the propeller planes. He said, why am I not the greatest? Reuben, thank you for being with us.
Thank
Enjoy
you,
the
Frank.
fight. Great to see you again. Reuben Hurricane Carter, one of the top middleweights, and of course, a great friend of ours from a few years back. Over to you, Howard.
Thank you, Giff. Muhammad Ali about to get into his robe, about to come out, giving us a last noble look, staring at us right in the face, and at all of you, too. There's his record for you. Incidentally, I'd like to clarify something Frank said, or at least amplify rather than clarify. He said that we cannot talk to political figures. There are many of them here, such as Senator Teddy Kennedy. But under the equal time provisions, we cannot put on any politicos who are engaged in actual election campaigns at the present time. Thus, the inability to talk to them. There's Jimmy Young, as you see him, emerging now from his dressing room and about to enter the arena. Note that he has only 5 knockouts. He is not a power puncher. He was knocked out, and that's his worst defeat on his record, by Ernie Shavers in the first round. Yet, he did beat Ron Lyle, unanimous decision in Honolulu a little more than a year ago, and he, of course, knocked out Richard Dunn in the 8th round, who was supposed to be Ali's next opponent come next month, Richard Dunn being the British and European heavyweight champion. It's Jimmy Young with a mild smile, but he's got to be, at this time, a little bit shaky. A 15-1 underdog, but with enough skill to be rated the 3rd contender, number 3, and with enough skill not to be taken as of the same quality of the likes of Jean-Pierre Koopman. So Jimmy Young now about to enter the ring, the crowd first becoming aware of his presence. There are some empty seats here. They had expected a sellout, but they do have, I would suspect, in the area of 13,000, 14,000 people. A pretty good crowd. There's Jimmy in the ring, not much crowd reaction. The fight coming up, and we'll be back at ringside in just a moment. We're back live at the Capitol Center. Muhammad Ali in his robe in his dressing room, and at long last, the champion is ready to come out to fight Jimmy Young. We've already told you about his record, about how long he's held the title. To me, the incredible thing about Muhammad Ali, the thing that makes him, in my own mind, the greatest heavyweight who's ever lived, is that he was enforcedly idled. You all remember it, for 3.5 years. The best 3.5 years of his boxing life. Yet he came back, fought a classic fight against Frazier on March 8th of '71. Lost it, came back from that. Lost to Kenny Norton, came back from that, and came back to knock out George Foreman in Zaire, recapture the crown, and then beat Frazier again in that marvelous battle in Manila. So this is a man, think of baseball players, a more sedentary sport. They lose a year. Curt Flood couldn't make it back after staying out a year. Boxing, the most brutal, demanding of all sports. Muhammad Ali coming back after 3.5 years. To me, that's the stripe of the man. That's why he is the superb champion. The tale of the tape before you now on your screen speaks for itself. The age differential, the weight differential, because Ali should not be at 230 pounds, whatever the protestations to the contrary. And it remains to be seen against a young kid who's a pretty good boxer, how long it will take him, and if this gnawing at Angie Dundee deep inside about the memory of the fractured jaw at the hands of Kenny Norton, it remains to be seen if there's any chance of a repetition of anything like that. But an overwhelming favorite, clearly, Ali should be, on grounds of skills, experience, everything in the world going for him, against a kid who, while a decent boxer, hasn't really been that tested and hasn't really grown that much. Now you begin to see the attention being given to the champion. Now the crowd sees him. Now the roars come up. Up goes the Ali right hand. That's his brother Rahman. wearing the Fez cap. Angie Dundee, always close in there somewhere. Without question, Dundee is one of the smartest men I have ever known in boxing. Not just smart as a trainer, he knows how to promote a fight. The fellow with the glasses in the Fez is Ali's personal bodyguard, Pat Patterson, member of the Chicago Police Force. Now you begin to hear the crowd. What a curious and complex man, Muhammad Ali. A chameleon, capable of being gregarious and engaging at any level of the social stratum. He is directly above us now, getting into his corner. And yet, with an attention span of perhaps 20 seconds, capable of changing his mood in just an instant and suddenly appearing cruel and even sadistic, such as in his displays against Patterson and Terrell. Ali now in the ring. We finally get ready for action, and we'll be back for the start of the fight in just one moment. Back at the Capitol Center, the ring announcer Marvin Brooks is now addressing the crowd as we await the start of the Ali Young fight.
Of the Maryland State Athletic Commission, D. Chester O'Sullivan, chairman.
We're looking down now
Doctors in attendance,
ceiling
Charles
camera.
Tomasella, Steve Manikin,
Referee in
and
this
Irving
bout
Oates.
will be Tom Kelly, and we will
Calling
have
for
a
the
mic on
knockdown
him
is Earl
as we
Clemens.
did during the Norton
The
stand-up fight.
timekeeper is Izzy Bach. Your ring announcer is Marv Brooks. The judges are Larry Barrett and Terry Moore. The referee is Tom Kelly. 15 rounds, the participants. The challenger from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, weighing 209 pounds, wearing black trunks, Jimmy Young. His opponent, the current heavyweight champion of the world, from Chicago, Illinois, weighing 230 pounds, Muhammad Ali.
So the ring
Cherry
introduction.
Hill, New Jersey, Ali. Scheduled for 15 rounds for the heavyweight championship.
Are you going to make announcements?
All right, we should be getting the referee's instructions in a moment. Tom Kelly, the referee, Larry Barrett and Terry Moore, the judges. Scoring on a 5-point must system. Mandatory 8 count in effect. 3 knockdown rule in this fight, scheduled for 15 rounds because it's a championship fight, is waived. 3 knockdowns of a fighter in a given round will not automatically end the fight. And there will be no saving by the bell, except, of course, if it should go 15 in the 15th round, the bell would automatically end the fight. So that's the situation here at the Capitol Center, where at long last, we are going to have Ali against Jimmy Young. To review the Norton stand-up fight, it was stopped in the 5th round. Norton did a most workmanlike and professional job
Muhammad
on
Ali.
a far inferior opponent. Here's Tom Kelly with the instructions.
All right, Jimmy Young, Muhammad Ali, I want you to both protect yourself at all times. Watch your low blows and your roughness, and I want a good, clean fight all the way. Pay attention to my instructions at all times.
Take some of that grease off.
Yes, sir. I was glad. Yeah, right. Jimmy, we're going to take a little of this off because yeah, here, got it. Yeah, well, take some of it off. We'll be all right. Get it.
Dundee is always looking for an edge. Take some of that grease paint off.
Okay, I'll get it out.
It's the way he operates.
Okay.
I've
Jim, you
already
all right there?
told you
Okay,
about the
fine.
people in Muhammad's corner, the
That's
familiar
great.
retinue. Louis Saria, the man who rubs him down, been with him for years. Drew Brown Bundini, whose principal role is that of noisemaker and friend. Dundee, the trainer. Ferdy Pacheco, the doctor. In the champion's corner, and Jimmy Young's corner, his trainer, Bob Brown. Round 1, the action begins. Ali in the white trunks, Young in the black. Wild swing by Ali.
All right, let him go, punch out.
Dear Tom Kelly, let him go, he said. Round one. Ali against Jimmy Young and a feeling out process. Ali just covering. Young trying to get the left in there. You heard Angie Dundee say he didn't think it would end till the latter rounds. Ali raising up the arms, telling Young to hit him to the belly. And indeed, Ali doing no punching at all in this one. Young with those pity-pat jabs. Saw Ali lift the hands up and challenge him again. In at 20 and counting down in round one with little or no action. A quick right by Jimmy Young. A quick right got through to Ali. Not powerful, but it landed. It scored. In fact, Young got a left into Ali. As said, he has a fair jab. There's no power.
Let him go.
To
Come
it.
on, clean break. Hold it, Alex. Let's go.
50 seconds remaining in round one. Young gets that left jab in occasionally. Ali doing no fighting at all. Nothing whatsoever. Just keeping the gloves up in front of the face.
Keep your gloves closed. Keep your gloves closed.
We've had a lot of experiences with this man. It took him till the 15th to do away with Chuck Wepner, remember? He slept-walked with Lyle for 10 rounds before ending it in the 11th. And that was a disputed
Keep
ending.
up, Jimmy.
Low blow by Jimmy Young. You heard Tommy Kelly say, keep up, Jimmy. Counting down to the end of round one. Scant action. Young's round. Ali not fighting. Round two. Ali against Young. Our ceiling shot as we open the round and then zoom down in on the fighters with an overhead shot. First round, one of those curious pieces of business that we've seen so often with Ali. No fighting at all. Adopted that pose. Young got in a number of lefts and even a fairly good right. So he had to win the round on sheer effort.
Let him go. Let him go. Let the arms. Come on, man.
Once again, the mic on the referee, Tom Kelly. His words will speak for themselves. That left of Young's is getting in there. As Ali keeps up with this kind of tactic, Young's confidence will inevitably grow.
Let him go. Let him go. Come on, man.
And you heard Tom Kelly.
Let the neck go, Ali. Let the neck go.
Let Young go, Ali. Frazier always claimed that Ali held him. Ali's corner is yelling to referee Tom Kelly to watch Young's low blows. Ali moved quickly after him then with two quick rights.
Come on. Protect yourself, Jim. All right, let him go. Hold it, Jimmy. All right, Ali, let's go, men. Clean break. Keep him up, Jim. Keep him up.
Keep him up, Jim. Still another low blow from Jimmy Young.
Keep them up, Jimmy. Keep them up. Keep those blows up.
You heard Kelly again. Young got a left into the midriff, which has 2 rolls of fat where there used to be 1. See that pity pat jab? Dundee talked to me about that in our interview earlier in the telecast. Now Ali is just saying, go ahead, hit, as we count down to the end of round 2.
All right, let's go, man. Come on, clean break. Punch out. You're free. Punch out. Now, go to your corners.
Back for round 3 again with our ceiling shot, again zooming down from overhead. Ali's corner asking him to start fighting. Herbert Muhammad, his manager, sitting near the corner, openly disturbed. He doesn't like this kind of thing. It was he who went over to Ali's corner in the Koopman affair in Puerto Rico and said put an end to it. Now, it's not going to be that easy with Jimmy Young because the guy's a professional fighter. Good enough to be rated number 3 in Ring Magazine. We don't make the ratings. He's got quick hands, I'll say that for the kid. Ali beginning to throw a little bit of leather, at least try to, which is a change in pattern. Ali covering effectively and saying to Young, keep hitting me, keep hitting me. He's talking incessantly to him, though we can't pick up the actual verbiage. Don't forget, a half hour after the fight telecast, a Derby special from Louisville, Kentucky, and tomorrow, the great race itself. Certainly America's greatest horse race and quite possibly America's greatest sports spectacle, the Kentucky Derby. Look at that, a rope-a-dope. Now he's asking Young to come into him. I just looked at Angie Dundee, asked what's happening, held up his right hand, said, wait. Well, we'll wait. Kid's got quick hands. They get in there occasionally.
Keep up, Jimmy. Keep him up.
Another admonition
from
Tom Kelly to Young to keep those blows up. Young looks so small by comparison with Ali, who's at 230.
Come on, clean break. Come on, Jimmy.
And Young is big enough at 209. Believe me, a well-built kid. Lou Brown Bundini now yelling, keep sticking, champ, as Ali begins to use that left jab.
Keep him up, Jimmy. Keep him up.
But the countdown in round 3.
Bell, go to your corner.
The bell for the start of round 4, and Ali yet to do anything. Just a couple of left jabs in the 3rd round. Young doesn't hit hard, but at least he's been throwing jabs, an occasional right, and the hands are pretty quick. Ali may pick it up in this round. We'll see.
Right now we got no, we're going to insert.
Let him go. Let him go.
There's Angelo watching the fight.
All right, let him go, Madden. Come on, let him go. Let him go. Come on, clean break. Watch it. Back to that.
Smart as he is, he doesn't map his fighter's strategy. Cannot control him in that regard. He never felt that Ali should have used the rope-a-dope against George Foreman. Pleaded with him to get off the ropes. Yet it turned out Ali knew exactly what he was doing. Ali is at least throwing some leather in this round.
Let him go. Let him go. Come on, clean break. All right, hold it. Hold it, Jimmy. Hold it. All right, hold it. Let's go, man. All right, let him go. Come on, clean break. Come on, men. Let's go. Clean break.
Fourth round action, such as it is. Ali against Jimmy Young, the heavyweight championship of the world at stake.
All right, hold it. Break. Come on, hold it.
So far, Young has done a pretty good job of defending as Ali has begun to throw some blows in this round.
Let him go, Jim. Let him go. Come on, break. Clean break. Come on, let's go, men. Clean break. Come on, Jimmy.
I can't say he's done an
Let's go.
effective
Punch.
job. Ali missing
Come on now.
with
Punch
a right
out.
and then a left. "45 seconds
All right, let
left
him go.
in the
Hold it.
round.
Break. I got you. Come on, clean break now. Let's go. Punch out.
Observers at ringside gave Young the first 2 rounds, and the third round was generally
All right, let him
considered
go,
to
Jim.
be
Hold it.
even.
All right, let's go. Come on, clean break now. All right, let him go. Come on, clean break, man. Come on.
Of course, Young believes the longer the fight goes, the better his chance.
Let him go. Come on.
Younger.
Punch out now. Come on. All right, let him go. Come on, punch out. Let's go, man. Come on, clean break. Come on, Jim. Let's
I
go.
must say, referee Kelly is active. Coming up the end of the round.
Now go to your corners. Round 5.
Fifth round action beginning again. We begin with our overhead shot. Crowd was booing the fight at the end of the last round, and I don't blame them. Heavyweight championship fight. High price seats, they're entitled
Come on,
to
let him go. Break. Step out. Come on, clean break, man. Come on.
Young moving around the ring away from Ali now as Ali begins to move. Remember, this is a big ring, a 20-foot ring. It was the very ring used in Lewiston, Maine, when Ali disposed of Liston in the first round in that very
All right,
controversial
break. Step
bout.
out. Come on. Watch it. Come on, man. Keep it clean now. Keep it clean. All right, watch it. All right, hold it. Hold it. Hold it. All right, Ali. All right, hold it. Hold it, Jimmy.
Slippery
Come on,
guy,
now.
Young. There's Jack Ford, the president's son, who's at ringside looking on. He's smiling.
All right, let him go.
On the
Come on
surface,
now,
seems
clean
to be
break. Come on.
enjoying it.
Let's go, Ali. Come on. Jimmy.
One of the few, if he is.
All right, let him go. Come on, let the neck go. Come on, man. Clean break. Come on now. Don't let me push you. Come on, clean break.
Another one of the strange things about Ali. How he can be so brilliant against class competition.
All right, hold it. Come on. Let's go, man. All right, come on. Let's go. Clean break. Come
Not
on.
so brilliant
All right, Jimmy.
against lesser competition. Ali with that right
All right, hold
lead.
it. Come on, man. Come on.
That has
Clean
become
break.
his
Come on now. Let's go.
trademark through the years.
Let him go, Jimmy. Hold it. Come on now. Punch out. Come on. All right, let him go now. Come on, punch out.
Of course, you see the protective
Come on, Jimmy,
belt
let him
being
go.
worn by Young, emerging above the belts of the
All right,
waistline
break.
of
Hold
his
it, Ali.
trunk.
Come on, come on, punch out. Come on, come on now. Clean break. Come on, man. Come on. Come on now. Let's go. Clean breaks.
Tommy Kelly, the referee again. 45 seconds left in round 5. Yeah, Jimmy came in with a pair of good shots to the middle. Jimmy got in a left to the face.
Let him go. Come on, let him go now.
Slippery kid. Moves around, gets down low, holds on. Ali hasn't been able to get through to him yet, although for 2 rounds he didn't try very hard. 10 seconds left in the 5th round. See that? Ali really tried there to jolt him.
Let's go. Watch it, Ali. Come on now. Come on. Keep it clean. Now, go to your corner.
Round 6 underway. Crowd not at all happy with the general dearth of action up to this point.
All right, let him go. Come on, clean break. Come on, man. Clean break. Let's go. Watch the push.
Ali is missing an awful lot.
Come on, boys. Punch out.
Whether it's his own absence of timing or Young's defensive skills,
Let him go. Come on, let him
it's a
go.
matter of conjecture.
Watch out. Come on.
Don't forget tomorrow, the 102nd running of the Kentucky Derby, the Run for the Roses. Honest Pleasure, Bold Forms, Play the Red, Kojak, On the Slide. Possibly a Triple Crown winner in either Honest Pleasure or Bold Forms. Sixth round action. Ali's corner now asking Ali to go to work, go to work. He appears to be trying.
All right, break, step out. Come on, clean breaks.
At some point in time, if you balloon up and you're in your 30s, you can stumble against an opponent taken too light. Angelo Dundee again, watch it. I'll tell you whose face isn't happy, Herbert Muhammad.
Come on, all right, let's go. Clean break. Come on,
In the front row at ringside. That was a pretty good right by Ali. Young using the ropes. Bending over. Covering up. Ali having trouble getting through those defenses. Ali with his superior strength, expecting to wear Young down. Young counting on the passage of time for Ali to wear down on grounds of weight and age. Ali is pushing him around now and trying to maul him. A right by Ali got in there. Pity pat. That's the way Angie described it in the pre-fight interview.
I got you, Jimmy. All right, hold it. Come on, Jim. Come on.
That's not a very
Come on, Jimmy.
enticing scene or exciting. Countdown for the end of round 6. Round about to end.
Now go to your corners.
Round 7 underway. Bell just sounded. Between rounds, Ali right over us, bantering with the crowd, but the crowd exhorting him to do better. Last round, actually, Ali did do better. Most around ringside have the fight. At this point, basically even, giving the last 2 rounds to Ali.
Keep up, Jim.
But these are all unofficial scores.
Come on, let him go, man. Come on.
So far, we haven't seen one single right lead get through. Ali tried that. Jimmy Young responded with his own right and left. Up in the gallery, they begin to get a little excited over that. See the way Young drops down low, bends over, covers up. That left gets into Ali. Then a right got in. I'm not telling you this young man is punching hard, but I'm telling you on the basis of what fighting we've seen, he has scored fairly well. Fight. Certainly Ali hasn't. Ali missing again. Did you notice with the right? Kid slips punches well. Ali misses with the left. Sluggish, off timing. The opponent is quick.
All right, come on, punch out. Let him go. Come on, punch out, man. You're free. Come on.
Well, we've used up 2 minutes of this round. See that flicking jab of Young's?
Come on, punch out, man. You're free. Punch.
Left cut. Look at the way Young goes to
Come on, Jimmy.
Falls down. Crouches over in half. I don't see Young moving the way he did in the earlier rounds. Maybe the strength of Ali. Weight. Left got in there by Young.
Let him go. Come on, man. Punch out. You're free. Come on, punch out.
After this pause for station identification, we'll be back. Round 8 begins. Round 8, and in Ali's corner, they're exhorting him to do more. Who knows? Maybe he's trying quickly there. Couple of rights.
Come on. All right, Ali. Come on. Let's clean break, man. Come on. All right, Jimmy. Let's go now. Watch the arms.
Tom Kelly, an active referee, controlling the bout. Good position, quick instructions.
All right, come on. Let him go. Let the arms go. Come on, men. Punch out. Come on. Let the arms go. Come on. That's it.
Referee mic'd for this occasion.
Keep him up, Jimmy.
You don't see those blows landing of Ali's. Off in his timing, the arms without snap. The punches, apparently no snap. Jimmy Young with only 23 fights behind him. 17 victories, 4 defeats, 2 draws. Trained as a Philadelphia fighter. Trains in Joe Frazier's gymnasium. Philadelphia fighters, boxers, counter punchers. Well, he wanted to get the right in there. Young's left was up and warded it off. Look at Young. Got a right into the Ali chest. He is growing and growing in confidence. Ali got a flicking jab in there. Young is down. Oh, that left moved him back for a moment. Young coming in with a right.
Come on, man. Let's go. Clean break. Come on,
on
Jimmy.
the side of the neck.
Let's go, man.
Countdown in round 8. How many of you ever heard of Jimmy Young? How many of you thought the fight would go this far? Look at that.
All right, watch your arms. Come on.
Ali trying in
right, let's go.
a sense a double right lead and missing. Young in there with the right. Young dancing, moving around. Ali flat-footed. We're coming to the end of round 8. There is quiet in the champion's corner. See the way Young again curls up on the ropes. Ali is having all kinds of trouble reaching this kid, penetrating. Young moving away. The young man, he's far from used up. The end of the round upon us.
Cal, go to your corners.
We're underway in round 9. Putting this fight in perspective thus far, Ali has tried to become the aggressor in the recent 3 or 4 rounds. Young has been effective defensive. It is unofficially at ringside scored up to this point a close fight. However, Young has surprised everybody, and Ali has not fought compelling. Whether it's look at Young, Ali after him, and the kid curls up again.
Let's go, man. Come on, watch the arms. Watch the arms.
Remember, Jimmy Young is rated number 3 in Ring Magazine. There are various rating systems, but Ring is the most respected.
Protect yourself, Jim.
Got to number 3 on the basis of his victory over Lyle. Unanimous decision. Lyle couldn't get to him either. And on the basis of his knockout of Richard Dunn. Look at that. 2 quick jabs landed by Jimmy Young. He's dancing. Ali is now dancing. Ali on his toes. Ali has the edge in reach, and yet Young is getting to him occasionally with those jabs. Ali dancing. It's the 9th round. Stick it, his corner keeps yelling. Look at Jimmy Young challenging Ali. Go dance, he says to him in net effect. Confidence that we saw before the fight was real, not imagined. I told you he's a counterpunch. After each Ali blow, you see him try to counter. Look at Ali. The kid's dancing away from him, steadily. Interesting, isn't it? Now the fight. You saw that counterpunch right by Young. That's a counterpunch. Coming down to the end of round 9. Ali gets a left in. 49 seconds, 48, counting down. Will not break for a commercial at the end of this round. We'll show you that earlier sequence. This is the most interesting round of all because Ali is dancing in the old style. Trying to get to Young, no question about it, unable to do so. Young fighting cleverly, effective defensively, and good counterpunch. There he took the lead with 2 lefts. Almost the end of round 9. Ali getting in with those flicking lefts near the end of the round. Let's follow Jimmy Young, his arms upraised. The crowd loving him at the moment. They don't care what's going on in there, whether it's Ali out of shape or Young's effectiveness. Let's look at that earlier sequence in round 9 again. Ali bouncing, dancing. Young with the counterpunch right over the left, attemptedly delivered by Ali. Young into the midrib. Ali the one holding there, not hurt. Let's be clear about that. Young has not shown any evidence of power tonight. What he's shown is clever tactics, good fight plan, and the ability to carry it out. Ali not sitting between rounds.
Seconds out, clear the ring, seconds.
We await the start of round 10. Crowd has suddenly come alive.
Round 10.
They knew Ali was trying very hard last round to get to Young. Ali quickly on his toes again, dancing. We're with an overhead shot. Don't forget tomorrow, the Kentucky Derby, live right here on ABC, America's greatest thoroughbred race. And what a sports spectacle it is. Ali moving now, steadily dancing around. Left missed. Angelo Dundee in your lower right-hand corner looking on. Jimmy Young with a half smile on his face. Drew Brown Bundini yelling away, stick 'em, champ. Well, I've never seen Ali miss with so many lefts in a given fight in my life. Even the time Norton shattered his jaw, Ali got in some lefts with consistency. See that counterpunch? When Ali throws that left, back comes Jimmy Young. That left got to Jimmy. 10th round action. Yes, we're in the 10th round if you joined us late. And Jimmy Young got in with a right there, and Jimmy Young is fighting well. Has been from the beginning. Pity pat to the midrib. Jimmy Young doing the pity pat.
Let the next go. Come on, man. Let's go.
He came back like you. He came back like
Ali, last round and this round, circling steadily to the left on his toes, occasionally switching back to the right. The old Ali style before the 3.5 years away from the ring. That attempted counterpunch missed. Jimmy tried to lead with 2 lefts, both missed. Ali has not gotten a really sharp blow into Young, I don't believe, in this entire fight. I wonder what Kenny Norton is thinking. If Ali should lose, as a matter of fact, Kenny was supposed to join me at ringside within the last round or two. His manager won't let him. Too much at stake. Because if Ali should, that's the end of the round. The 11th round is underway. I was making the point as the last round ended that Norton's manager now doesn't want Kenny to join us. He's worried about this fight, worried that Ali could use the decision, and Norton's big shot for the big money would go out the window for a decent time at least. More time lost for Kenny Norton, so he doesn't want Kenny here. Fight goes on. Round 11. They're yelling at Ali from Ali's corner that it's round 11. As if Ali could turn it on at any time. So far, there's been no evidence that he can. No evidence that Jimmy Young, who got a light right then from Ali, bounced off the ropes, had a half smile on his face. His concentration supreme.
Watch the arm.
Jimmy Young.
Come on, let's go.
He has stuck to his battle plan all the way. Tom Kelly right in there, get the blows up. Good right. A good right lead by Ali. That's probably his best blow of the fight.
All right, man, hold it. Come on, watch the push. Come on, watch the push. Come on.
Ali's corner is yelling that Young is tired. We'll see. Both fighters missing. Young with a couple of left jabs.
Let him go, man. Come on. Let the arms go. Come on, let him go. Come on, punch out, man. Come on,
Catch
punch
him
out.
in close. They're yelling to Ali from his corner. Look at Dundee in the lower right corner of your screen. Ali isn't able to catch him in close, or hasn't been able to all night. This kid's defenses have been excellent. See that miss? Kid slipped the punch with the movement of his head. Does that very well. Has been doing it all night. Rahman Ali just yelled over from the corner as he did in the Ron Lyle fight. You're looking at, you're losing, Muhammad, you're losing. He did that in the Lyle fight in the 11th round, and this is the 11th round, and it was then that Ali did away with Lyle in that disputed ending. But I don't know about this youngster, Jimmy Young. All of Ali's plans, a busy year. The end of the round. The crowd now booing Ali. We're over Ali in his corner. Still not on a stool, leaning over the ropes. He's tired. There's people exhorting him on. Here comes Kenny Norton now. We're getting Kenny Norton in here with us. All right, Kenny Norton is with me now. He's getting a mic on. You see him right next to me. Kenny, what do you make of this thing so far?
Well, I think so far it's just a matter of Ali being out of shape and Young being in shape.
Uh-huh. You give the edge to Young so far?
I wouldn't say the edge. I would say that...
Close fight.
It's a very close fight. He's getting more confidence as long as the fight goes.
Okay. Kenny Norton will be sitting next to us for the rest of this bout. Round 12 underway. This fight means a lot to Kenny Norton, quite frankly, as I've explained. He wants Ali to win. It's a big money thing for Kenny Norton in the future, whereas there would be a further weight if Ali were to lose. General scoring at ringside has the fight very close, with everybody surprised at Young's performance and in a way equally surprised by Ali's performance.
Let the arms go. Come on, men. Let the arms go. Come on. Punch out, Ali. Come on. Punch out. Let him go, Jimmy. Let the arm go. Come on. Let the neck go, Jim.
Are you astonished to see Ali look like this, Kenny?
Yes, I am. He doesn't have his fast hands and flurries.
No
not
snap,
countering, nothing.
Sluggish.
And Young's a very good counterpuncher. Remember we
He
talked
is.
earlier and I said he had
Right.
a good counter with the jab. He's doing that countering.
Doing it very effectively. We've commented on it.
And
And have you ever seen Ali miss so often?
No, I haven't. The longer the fight goes, the more confidence Young gets.
Those of you joining us late, this is round 12. Muhammad Ali against Jimmy Young for the heavyweight championship of the world. As Kenny Norton, sitting next to me, has just confirmed, I've been talking about it all night, Ali is sluggish, out of shape, has been missing constantly. The swiftness of hands doesn't seem to be there. No snap in the punches. Jimmy Young in superb shape with a good battle plan, excellent defenses, and effective counter punching. So the fight is very close indeed. Very close. How do you have it scored up till now, Kenny, in your own mind?
Well, I'd have to say the fight is a very close fight. I still think Ali has the edge because of it. He's number one. He's a champion, and his superiority. You can see he's the better fighter. Young's gaining more confidence. He's countering punches, so he's not far behind. And a good quick flurry, a good rally could pull it out for him.
Ali trying there, landing with the left. Young quickly moving back. Young has used the ropes effectively tonight. Look at him cover. Ali can't get through. Ali trying to overpower him down.
Howard, he's trying to overpower him, but there's nothing in Ali's punches.
Nothing at all, Ken. I couldn't agree with you more. No snap to those punches. You can't be 34 and balloon up and not train, and it's become harder and harder for Ali to train. His heart has gone out of him. He's been fighting for the money only. You can understand him doing that, no quarrel with that, but you've got in this business, and nobody knows it better than Ali, to train, to be ready for any opponent. The countdown continues for round 12.
Howard, it couldn't be for the money only because he and Frazier had one heck of a fight.
That was Frazier against the end of the round. We'll talk more, Ken. Kenny, we're going to slow-mo that flurry by Ali. Then I want to talk to you about that. Ali would kill himself training for you, for Joe Frazier. There's that flurry. Let's look at it again. It happened right above us, in Ali's corner. Young against the ropes. And Ali now trying to overpower him, but without the old snap to the punches. And without the timing. Look at that miss. Then the left got in there. Timing is completely gone, Kenny.
Well, it just shows that if you can't, fight a man like this who has good eyes and not trained.
That's right.
It's very obvious he didn't train very hard for this fight. Overconfidence again.
But I made the point early on, for you, for Foreman, for Frazier. That's the mistake he made tonight, not training. He underrated this kid. This kid's a Philadelphia fighter.
That's very true. Ron Lyle also underestimated this young man.
That's right. That's what happened to Ron Lyle, and that's why Young beat him up. What is this kind of tactic? I never saw it. The fighter tried to use the ropes that way by going halfway through. He wasn't knocked through, Kenny.
The first time I've seen that, Howard, I can't answer that one for you.
Look at this.
See, but he's winning the crowd over by doing this. He's winning the crowd over by doing this. Because you can't hit the man once he's through the rope.
That's not going to score points for him. 13th round action, a weird scene. Twice, Young has put himself between the ropes in this round. Twice.
Watch a pushing.
Ali desperately trying to overpower the younger man now. We've got 1:50 50 seconds left in the round. Round 13. You think now that Young is getting a little tired from the superior weight and strength of Ali?
That's very true. Ali has used his weight on the man's back a few times. But then again, Young is also gaining more confidence. Ali's expending his energy, and Young knows this.
Now you see Young dancing back on his toes. Young has slipped punches with his head very effectively tonight, Kenny.
That's very true. Young and I worked together for the second Ali fight, and he has very good eye, he's very quick hands. He's very determined now. He's gaining more confidence the longer the fight goes.
You just saw the graphic, the Run for the Roses, 102nd time around tomorrow on ABC. From the home of the Twin Spires, Churchill Downs. This is 13th round action, believe it or not. Fight goes on.
Come on, man. Let him go.
You know, if we weren't up to the 13th round with a close fight like this, you would have been reading Ali was doing this for television. I read that in a couple of columns this morning, that he was going to tease the lad for television. It's not for television now, it's for Ali's title, I'll tell you. You agree, Kenny?
Yes, I do, Howard. But then again, remember you were talking to me earlier about the people I was fighting, like the Ron Standers?
That's right.
What can you say about this? You can underestimate someone.
Ali really underestimated this young man. You saw him counterpunch with a flurry, a combination.
It just proves you can never underestimate someone.
That's right. The end of round 13. Now the crowd is really getting excited. They sense a repeat of San Diego, March 31, 1973.
Hold it, Howard. Hold it now.
Now wait. That's when you surprised us all. I underrated you, Ali underrated you, the whole world underrated you. You proved to be some kind of pro fighter. Let's look at this replay. Young backing off. Take it from there, Kenny.
Okay, as you can see here, Ali's stalking him, but then again, he has nothing in his punches. You know, he's flicking them out. He might be landing, but nothing's happening. And Young, you know, nothing's there at all.
Missing, see that? Missing.
Timing's way off.
Oh, totally.
Young has a very good eye. Plus,
look at that. Those counter punches, the left and the right combination scoring.
Timing's definitely off. It comes from not boxing and not working.
Right. It's telling it like it is, Ken Norton. Round 14.
I think that Young's going to come on stronger the last two rounds because he knows that he can burn Ali out.
All right, watch your arms. Come on, punch up.
You know how many months this could cost you if Young gets the decision, Kenny?
How many months and how much money?
Exactly.
And the title.
All right, hold it. All right, now let's go.
Ali
come on,
plunging
Jimmy,
after.
let's go. Clean break.
Ali desperately trying to be the aggressor in the later rounds of the fight.
Ali's trying to throw the big, heavy punches. He's not a heavy puncher. Young's slipping and trying to counter back on them. And it's making Ali lunge. He's not used to lunging. Ali is a pinpoint puncher.
That's correct.
The only thing bad about this is Young doesn't have the power to hurt Ali. He can box with him, but he can't hurt him.
He is not a puncher. Only 5 knockouts and 17 victories. Talking next to me, of course, is Kenny Norton, the #1 rated contender. The man who expected Ali to win easily tonight. And then Norton, would get his chance after the proposed affair in Germany next month, and then the thing with the wrestler the following month. Ali's plan so carefully laid. His last year of fighting, it was supposed to be. We are not saying he has lost this fight. I agree with Kenny Norton. It's a close fight. I've said that all night. It's a hard thing to take a man's title away. You saw that counter punch right.
Right
That's
jab.
what Young has been doing so effectively all night. An excellent counter puncher.
And I feel that if Young lasts this round, which I think he's going to do, that the next round he's going to try to open up with flurry.
Let the next go, man. Come on, let the next go.
Rahman Ali, Drew Brown Bundini, Angie Dundee, Bertie Pacheco, Gene Kilroy, all sitting in the corner. Don't know what to say about it. Bertie Pacheco, good right fight again by Jimmy Young. Young landing all over. Young growing in confidence. Young pouring on Muhammad Ali in round 14. That blow missed, but it excited the crowd. This kid is coming on in confidence, in strength. He's not afraid, never was. That's another part of his success tonight.
He's definitely a spoiler.
Yes, he is. End of the round. The start of round 15. The crowd going wild. The fighters touch gloves. Norton, Kenny Norton next to me. Between rounds was exhorting Ali right above us. Don't blow my shot, Muhammad. Again, Young uses the tactic of going between the ropes. Dundee desperately yelling at referee Tom Kelly. Ali missing, lunging wildly. As Norton said, he's a pinpoint puncher. He is not a lunger. Tonight he's missed left jab after left jab more than I've seen him miss in the entirety of his career. Ali just nodded at Kenny Norton between rounds when Norton said don't blow it.
That's very true. I feel that Ali will come through. He's been known to come through in the last round, especially when guns are down.
He cannot score with that left, Kenny. The timing is totally off.
That's very true. Right now he has to get the man against the rope to come up with the body shots and the flurries.
Haji missed with the uppercut. Missed again with two lefts.
Right hand.
Missing with everything. Being made to look like no part of the great champion he has been and the great fighter he has been. Fighting against a man without the power to knock him out, to even hurt him. It's the amazing part of it. And Jimmy Young, look at that. Kelly now telling Jimmy, come on. The only thing that can cost Jimmy Young is the frequency of defensive tactics, in my mind, Kenny, because I think you made an effective point, taking a title away from the man.
That's very true. Young, as I said before, he's a good counterpuncher. And we were speaking of the Lyle fight, and he counterpunched Lyle the whole night. He was doing everything that Lyle didn't expect, and with Ali, Ali's doing the same thing. He's a very determined man.
We're almost at the end of the fight. 15th round. This decision is going to be very, very interesting. There is confusion at ringside among the experts on their official scores.
Every time Ali throws one punch, Young throws back two.
That's right. How do you score it now? We're coming to the end of the fight, Ken Norton. Whom would you give the decision to?
I refuse to answer under the Fifth Amendment, Howard. I want Ali to win, but then again, Young's fighting a very good fight, very courageous, and it can go either way now, I think. But to beat the champion, you have to beat him big and decisive.
Ali with a left. Ali trying to come down with a right. Back of Young's head. We're down to seconds now. The fight will have gone the limit. The crowd yells as Jimmy Young gets in a left. We're at the end of the fight. Jimmy Young has not only gone the distance, he has put up some fight. And in just a moment, we'll be getting the decision. The crowd is standing and cheering for Jimmy Young. His trainer, his pair of management partners, Jack Levin and Ray Kelly, are all over. Young thinks he has won this fight. Look at the joy, the elation in his corner. We await the decision. Dundee, a sour face, you can understand it. Bundini, the disappointment apparent. We'll be back with the decision in a moment. I'm hearing you. Where's the hand? All right, we're in the ring. Muhammad Ali is combing his hair. An old familiar scene. In Jimmy Young's corner, there is the general feeling with our handheld camera on him that he will get the decision. If so, a more stunning upset than Kenny Norton over Ali back in '73? If so, the end of all of the immediate plans for Ali to collect all the millions of dollars. But that's if so. Now,
Ladies and
Brooks
gentlemen,
with the decision.
here is the decision. Judge Larry Barrett has it 70-68, Ali.
That's one
Referee
for Muhammad
Tom Kelly
Ali.
has it 72-65, Ali.
Muhammad Ali is still the heavyweight champion of the world.
Has it 71-64, Ali.
A unanimous decision. I'm standing with Jimmy Young, and he doesn't believe the decision. Now they're mobbing Ali as the crowd boos the decision. Muhammad Ali gets a unanimous decision as the heavyweight champion of the world, retains his title here in Landover, Maryland. Now, as you can see, we are in difficult straits. Our handhold cameraman trying to get through to us. Get back, please, all of you. Muhammad, wait. You realize that you did not fight well tonight. I'm not picking on you. Let's be clear.
You're right.
Were you worried that you had lost the decision?
No, I know I won the decision, but I knew it'd be close. Didn't really train too hard. As you know, I was too heavy. I'm fighting again next month, a fella who is much rougher but not as fast. Then I'm fighting a Japanese wrestler. First of all, I want to thank Almighty God Allah and Assalamu alaikum to all the Muslims and my great leader, the Honorable Wallace D. Muhammad. I repeat, Assalamu alaikum to my great leader, the Honorable Wallace D. Muhammad.
But you have admitted you were out of shape. Did you learn a lesson tonight?
No, I'm not out of shape. I couldn't go 15 rounds out of shape with that young man. I learned a lesson that I played too much in training. I didn't train as hard as I should, but I got by like I wanted to, really. Hate for him to be close. Hello to my mother, Miss Odessa Clay out there in Louisville, Kentucky. And hello to Dick Gregory, who's out there running to make the people conscious of starving people in the world. He's running from Los Angeles to New York, and I think it's a greater man than I am.
Okay, I have never seen you so off in your timing. Missing
old,
so
Howard.
many lefts and
I'm
rights.
getting old. That's why I'm quitting this year. If I can get by this year, I want to say a prayer to everybody, to the great Stephen Fetch, who's in Michael Reese Hospital out there in Chicago also.
But what about a fighter of the caliber of Kenny Norton, who can punch where Jimmy Young
Kenny Norton
can't?
tonight, I probably would have lost. I'll be down to about 200 and about 15 pounds for Norton, 15 pounds lighter than tonight. And this is one reason I didn't work too hard tonight, because I'm preserving energy for people like Norton also.
All right. Good luck to you. Congratulations. But it was not one of your great performances.
Well, Allah bless me. Assalamu alaikum to my great leader, the Honorable Wallace D. Muhammad.
Okay. Good luck to you, champ. Now we're going to try to get Jimmy Young, a young man who thought that he had won the fight. Is Jimmy Young still in the ring? No, apparently he has left the ring. Ali is about to leave the ring, and the crowd is not greeting him the way they greeted him when he first came into this ring tonight. But he won an unanimous decision, and he had to have done it on what the referee and the judges considered aggressiveness. He did admit in the post-fight conversation that he wasn't in good shape, and then he tried to recant on that. 230 pounds, that's an awful lot of weight for him, and also 34 years of age. The missed blows. The happiest man hereabouts is Kenny Norton. He is the happiest man. Tonight's telecast was produced in association with Don King Productions. Travel arrangements made through, promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United with wide-body 747s to Hawaii. More people fly the friendly skies to Hawaii than any other airline. Once again, the world heavyweight champion is Muhammad Ali, winner on an unanimous decision. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.